welcome to Binging with Badness, the only podcast that's brought to you by Pfizer. Pfizer, in 3 weeks, we can go outside again. My name is Mitchell McIntyre.
And I'm Vanessa Vogel.
We are not actually sponsored by Pfizer. I know somebody's going to get mad.
But get vaccinated.
Ours is coming up on Wednesday. Can't wait. Men in Black 2.
Can we talk about vaccination some more? Go get vaccinated. I don't care what you read on the internet. Go get vaccinated.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the end of the spiel.
That's it. That's all.
Also, wear a mask until someone tells you not to.
Please. Over your nose. I can't stress that enough.
Yes.
Anyway. Men in Black 2. Let me see you nod your head like this. Mm-hmm. I have not seen this movie in probably, how old am I? I'm 30?
Yeah.
Probably 15 years. Gotta be longer than that.
I had never seen this movie.
Okay, so I've told you guys the story before, but I'll tell it again because it's it makes sense here. Mm-hmm. I loved the first Men in Black movie. Mm-hmm. I was so hyped when I learned that there was a sequel, because the sequel came 5 years after the first one. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's a whole other thing. I'm 5 years older. I'm 5 years wiser. Mm-hmm. I can go see it in the theater because it was like I was 12 and it's a PG-13 movie. Mm-hmm. I had parental guidance. My dad loved it. My brother loved it. So we went to go see this on, I think it was my birthday.
Oh.
It was, yeah, I think it was my birthday because the movie came out in July. Mm-hmm. And I was born in August, if you're paying attention at home. Mm-hmm. August 3rd. You can send all gifts and whatnot to, never mind.
We'll get a P.O. box. It's fine.
Yeah, right? So, yeah, we went to go see this movie. And I was hyped. I loved the first one. It's time for this new one. We watched it. It's a very short movie.
Is it?
It is at most 88 minutes.
Is it really?
And we'll get to it, but it's padded as all hell. Mm-hmm. And I remember coming out of the film. Mm-hmm. I was 12 years old. And this is the first time I realized a movie could be bad. I've seen movies before. Mm-hmm. And I might have thought, like, that one wasn't as good, but I'll still watch it 14 times. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This was the first movie that I had cognizant recognition that I was excited for. I was prepared to watch it. I watched it, and I didn't like it.
Oh. Sorry, little you.
Yeah, and it's okay, but it jaded me. It hardened me on the inside like a crab apple.
It made you a man.
It made me a man. And so yeah, we watched it. We came out, didn't like it. You know, what are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. We talked about it ever since. Like, yeah, that was bad. Can movies be bad? To put this in perspective, like when I was a kid, my favorite movie was like the Turbo, a Power Rangers film.
Oh.
I saw Kazam on purpose. I rented it.
Space Jam. Which is a great movie, and I don't care what the internet says.
So the point is, I didn't have, like, great taste in film as a kid. This was the first one. It rocked me to my core. And
It's been 20 minutes. That's how you know. No, we're old.
Yeah.
It's been 20 minutes since I've finished watching this movie. And I'm confused. I'm almost 30 and confused. And
there's a lot of stuff that okay, so we're gonna cut to the chase here.
Yeah.
I was really hoping with an expanded brain, as a 30-year-old man, I could go back and see things I missed. This movie still sucks.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not.
Let's who's in this?
Let's
do the rundown of who the heck are these people.
So, y'all know who this is. This is Men in Black 2. Men in Black 2 stylized as MIIB. It was a 2002 American science fiction action comedy film directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, so the director remains the same, but the writer changed. No shit.
Oh boy.
It is a sequel to Men in Black, clearly, which is also loosely based on that comic book we talked about last time.
Which has basically nothing to do with this, because apparently it's Carry On, My Wayward Son.
Yeah. This movie stars Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, who both get top billing this time. Mm-hmm. They are right next to each other. And it also stars Lara Flynn Boyle, Johnny Knoxville, Rosario Dawson, Tony Shalhoub, and Rip Torn in supporting roles. I just realized that not Johnny Knoxville is in the film, and at one point just disappears.
Yep.
Oh, we'll get there.
Yep.
We'll get there. This was actually the final appearance of Rip Torn in the series, as he died on July 9th, 2019.
Oh.
He did make an appearance in Men in Black 3. It was uncredited, I suppose. We haven't seen that yet, obviously, but he died about a month before Men in Black 4 came out, Men in Black International.
Oh.
So, this movie was made for $140 million and made $441.8 million. $500 million this movie made.
That's a lot of dollars.
So, despite some initial involvement from a writer by the name of David Kopp, who he left to go do Panic Room, which is a very good movie.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man, which you've seen. I don't have to tell you shit.
Which Spider-Man? There's like
Spider-Man
30
the
of
OG,
them.
the Sam Raimi film.
Oh.
The script was written by a fellow by the name of Robert Gordon and then revised by Barry Fanaro, who added, like, pop culture references in the film. That seems to be all he did.
Oh.
It's, like, touch it up. And you see it, and it's really jarring when it shows up. At one, like, we'll talk about it later. Which the original writer didn't want at all.
Yeah.
So, originally, the producers wanted the movie to focus on a love story between Will Smith's character Jay and Rosario Dawson's character Laura. And Barry Sonnenfeld was actually like, look, I know from directing the train wreck that was Wild Wild West, people do not like seeing Will Smith as a straight man. And until Kay comes back, Jay is a straight man.
Straight man? Like...
A straight man in comedy means like... Oh, yeah. A straight...
I was confused. I'm like, do we need to gay this up? Like, what?
No, he's a straight man comedically.
In
this movie, and in the last one, Kay is the straight man.
Oh,
Jay
yeah.
is the comedic guy. And so they're like, yeah, until Tommy Lee Jones come back, Will Smith's the straight man, and it's not great. So they condensed the first part of the film and brought Kay back a little bit earlier. It takes forever for us to get to Kay in this movie.
That's true.
So I cannot imagine what the original was like before. So here is a little bit of an issue. Principal photography began on this film on June 11th, 2001. And ended on September 23rd. The climax of the film originally was against the backdrop of the Twin Towers.
Oh, boy.
At one point, the big climactic scene involves the Statue of Liberty. It was going to be the World Trade Center. So we refilmed that and edited and reshot everything the Twin Towers were in at all.
So that's why at the end we did the...
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
So, so that's kind of where we landed. The movie came out, did fairly well, but critically it was reviled. The original film got about an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, give or take. This film has a 34.
Ew. Yikes.
Now, when we go back that far, the Rotten Tomatoes is a little bit shaky, but it doesn't have to be perfect for you to know this is a marked step down.
Yeah.
So, we watched it. I hoped maybe it got better. I can tell you right now, it didn't, boys.
Oh, boy.
Oh, let's get on with this, shall we?
Yes.
Curtain up. We open on Peter Graves, who's telling us about the Men in Black, in an unsolved mysteries kind of show.
Yeah, everything is in it's like a little box on, which gotta be confusing if you came to this in a theater and you're only staring at this little TV box in the center of the screen that's the size of my arm.
Yeah. And it basically tells us the plot and what we're looking for. Good. I hate it when a movie tells us this plot over 90 minutes, like a story. Just get it all out of the way in front. Welcome to the phrase, tell, not show. You know, that thing we love to do in film.
Yeah. So basically we briefly watch an episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, Unsolved Mysteries. So here's what's going on. Basically, there's a bad alien. Her name is Selena. She wants this thing called the light. We don't know what it is. The Zarthons, which are the good aliens, came to Earth and were like, here, Earth, you hide it. And the Men in Black were like, we can't, because if we hide it, we become an issue. We must remain neutral. Mm-hmm. What we can do is fire it off someplace else. Mm-hmm. And we will protect you when it happens. Mm-hmm. So in comes Serlina, the Men in Black fire. They fire off the light into space somewhere. And the bad alien goes away.
After saying this dramatic reenactment, there's a man with an afro the size of a planet in the
dope.
background. It's dope and also distracting. So thanks for recapping it later in the film.
Yeah, we get this exact same scene again.
Yeah, but is his hair naturally that way? Is he wearing a wig?
I gotta imagine it's a wig, or at least really fluffed up. It looks cool.
Yeah, I have many questions. Somebody tell me about his hair.
Yeah, right. And the way Peter Graves tells it, it's very good. It's like, this is a story that never happened with people who do not exist. It's cool. I like the Men in Black as a concept.
Yes. This
show about people who you only, you regard as deja vu and you disregard just as quickly. Mm-hmm. That speech from the first movie that Zed gives, it's really cool. But if it's all going to be like this, I don't want it anymore. Mm. So, careening through space, we get our credit sequence. They're trying to do the same thing they did with the first movie, where we follow the bug. Mm. Only this time we're following a spaceship that is just bodying planets.
Yeah.
In really badly CGI.
Yeah. It's trying to make it feel like, okay, the anime nerd is going to come out with me for a brief second. You know when Zenny is playing against Zenny? Yeah. And it's just flying planets and, straight up civilizations are destroyed, but they're like, yay! That's horrifying, because goddamn galaxies are just being disappeared for the amusement of what is a cosmic chew toy.
Yeah.
This is dumb.
They're trying to convey how powerful they are by splitting planets in half.
And destroying them and wrecking them.
Yeah.
How is it this anime about a cosmic monkey is more terrifying than this blowing up planets? Why is this not as effective as Cosmic Mike?
I don't know. And like I said, I think it's like the CGI in this scene is bad. The CGI in the movie is not great. Like, there's a lot of really obviously green screen stuff.
Yeah.
And, it holds up worse than the first movie, which I find strange.
I don't know how they did that.
We gave them more money. So the alien ship destroys a bunch of planets until it comes to the only one planet we can't afford to lose. Earth. Until the spaceship crashes into the ground, ripping off the first movie wholesale.
Yep.
Only this time, the spaceship is itty bitty.
It's like the size of an ice cream cone.
Well, it actually looks like, and you guys might know this, it looks like the ships from Pikmin. Nintendo game?
I've never played that game.
I think you'd like it. And it spits out a little green, alien Venus flytrap. And it scares off a dog. And then looks at a magazine for some reason. There's just a magazine hanging out.
It's New York trash magazine. Sure, whatever.
So it crawls over and it sees this image of an underwear model, a Victoria's Secret model, played by Lara Flynn Boyle. And it takes over that shape. It shapeshifts into Lara Flynn Boyle in the underwear.
Yeah.
She remains in this outfit the entire film.
Well, she puts on a jacket.
Thank God for that. Not 4 seconds into her being a human, she immediately almost gets raped and murdered.
Yeah, a dude just straight up jumps her. He did not see the part where she morphed into a human.
Which is weird, because it took forever.
But he was just like, oh, practically naked woman. Here's a knife to your throat.
Yeah. The slow, creation of Serlina into Lara Flynn Boyle. It takes, 45 seconds of screen time. And then immediately he's just like, hey, murder some? So she eats him.
And then she kind of looks pregnant for a minute.
Yeah, she swallows him whole, comes out with this big, big belly, giving young males everywhere the first taste of the vor fetish.
Not gonna ask.
You don't know?
No.
We'll leave it at that.
Good. I don't ever want to know.
Join us on Patreon, where we go. No.
Where they break me.
Cut to Agent J and Agent Patrick Warburton.
We should also mention that she converts her pregnant belly into like a jacket and shoes, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Like.
Isn't that, that's a My Hero Academia quirk? Where you take matter and change it into other matter?
How dare you bring Momo into this? Like, how goddamn dare you bring the sacredity of My Hero Academia and the quirk that I most want into this?
Golly. Agent Patrick Warburton, they're taking care of an alien in a sewer drain who's just like a little daisy poking through the thing. And Jay is like, let me take care of this. We're going to talk to him nice and easy. And they're like, hey, buddy, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be where you're supposed to be.
Down by the A train or whatever.
And the new guy, his name is T, is not good at this whole talking thing. And just starts, like, kicking the fucker. Like, it's just like kicking over a flower.
Or, how I know him, goddamn Lemony Snicket's here.
Yeah, it's Lemony Snicket. It's Joe from Family Guy. It's Kronk from Emperor's New Groove. You know him.
And here I am sitting, what the fuck is Lemony Snicket doing here?
Welcome to the Men in Black, a word which here means secret.
Secret. And also, that you've never seen them before.
Yeah. So, he kicks at this, like, flower, and it turns out it's not a flower. It's a giant 600-foot-long worm.
Of course it is.
And it breaks through and attacks Jay, as you do.
It flings Lemony Snicket till God knows where.
Yeah. So, Jay jumps on its back, and away we go. It takes out these, like, giant bites of a train. And as Jay, like, tries to get on the train, he's like, all right, everybody, I work for the train. Guys, we got to get you to the front of the car. And, like, nobody moves. It's like, guys, we got to go. There's been an electrical issue. We have to move. And then the worm takes a bite into the train. And he goes, oh, now you guys want to run. Oh, now there's a problem. You guys want to go. No, sit down. Go ahead. Sit down.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Me too. This movie is saved entirely by Will Smith.
This is true.
In this early part, it's definitely him. And then obviously the rapport between him and Tommy Lee Jones is still great. But we don't get enough of it, and that's the problem with this thing. So, the worm takes a bite out of the thing, and so Jay tries to, like, knock it out, but it doesn't work. The thing is wrong. So he just takes out his gun and threatens to shoot him, and the worm kind of backs off.
I think it falls asleep. I think, like, whatever, that trank gun finally kicks in or whatever.
That could be it, too. So, yeah, the train stops. Jay gets everybody together, and he neuralizes them. And he goes, okay, thank you all for joining us in this emergency drill. If this was a real emergency, you all would be dead because nobody listens to me. All right? There was a giant 600-foot worm coming out. Sorry, neuros. Thank you for joining us on these new, smaller cars. You will have a good day. I just like that. Like, he's so angry at how they just didn't listen to him. He has to neuralize them again.
Because they were coming out of it. He only gets, like, 30 seconds.
I feel that. Like, on a very real... Having worked with the public...
Having currently worked with the public, I also...
Yeah, right? You're just like, would you all listen to me?
Would you just do what I say when I ask? It's not a big request.
Yeah. So, the job is getting to Jay. Because nobody knows who he is. He doesn't get any respect. Nobody knows the things he sacrificed for them. And they all just kind of, like, sneer at him because he just looks like a police officer, like a regular kind of schmuck. And they don't really care what's going on. So he kind of sits on a bench. Agent T shows up, and they kind of have, like, a little talking to. And Jay looks up, and he starts talking about the stars. The same way K did, and D did before him. And he's trying to get a little deep and try to emotionally connect with T, who just doesn't get it.
Yeah, he's a meathead.
He's a big meathead, ultimate fighter type.
Yeah, he's guessing at the answer. Yes. Yeah. No. Maybe?
I can get this. And Jay is basically worrying that he's alone in the universe. You can't have an emotional connection with people who don't know you exist. Which is a good premise for a movie. Too bad they don't really deal with it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Johnny Knoxville shows up. Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and welcome to Men in Black 2.
And you think he's talking to someone either in his head or in the room or something.
But no, he's got two heads. He's an alien.
It's in his backpack. It's literally on his back.
Yeah.
And it's his own head, but smaller.
Yeah, it's a smaller version of his head. They are kind of like comedic relief.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he was in more of this movie and they cut his scenes. So they're out doing stuff, and then Serlina shows up. And she's like, where is the light? And they're like, oh, we know where it is. But we're not going to tell you unless we have money. Mm-hmm. And so she tortures them. And just like, we don't know where it is, but we know a guy who knows where it is. Mm-hmm. And so now I guess he's like an underling?
I guess she needs him for something. I don't know what.
He is so useless in this movie. Like, I love Johnny Knoxville. Like, he's not a great actor.
They didn't properly utilize Johnny Knoxville, which is to say we didn't throw him off.
I was going to say,
anything.
I don't think he takes one stunt bump.
Like, that's what saves that Action Park movie he did.
And even that doesn't so much.
And that doesn't so much, but we tune in because he's willing to strap himself to a rocket twice and try to fire it over a lake, even though that could have been a big old rap on Knoxville, guys.
Boy, it could have. That could have been a picture rap on old Knoxville.
That's what he's good at, and you didn't use it.
Yeah. So Jay takes T out for pie, basically letting him know his services will no longer be required. Mm-hmm. And T just starts sobbing because he's getting fired. Mm-hmm. And he's making a big scene about it. It's supposed to be funny, but it's just kind of awkward.
You kind of feel bad for the guy.
Yeah. So Jay tells him, he goes, why did you join up with MIB? Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I was a Marine for 5 years, and I want to go out and be a hero. Because if you wanted to be a hero, this is not the job for you. Because you know who James Edwards is? And he goes, no. Because James Edwards just saved a lot of people tonight, and nobody knows who he is. And basically, he's like, this is not going to be for you. Mm-hmm. And so he neuros T, and he gets up and he goes, get married, have a bunch of kids. He walks by a waitress, and he's like, hey, my friend's too shy to tell you, but he thinks you're hot. And leaves, because even though he's firing somebody, Jay is a bro.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at a pizza place, Serlina shows up and tries to get info out of the owner. But Rosario Dawson, who plays Laura, kind of sees what's going on and evades capture for a little bit.
Yeah, she thinks we're being robbed. And to be fair to her,
I would too.
Yeah.
But Serlina picks him up, choke slams him with one hand.
Yeah.
And she's like, where is the light? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, light. And he's like, where is the light? And he's like, you will never find it. His voice changes.
Yeah.
He's like, it is leaving tomorrow. And she's like, that sucks. And literally whips him in half.
Yep. He bursts into light.
Serlina is a Bulbasaur. She uses vines and
She knows Vine Whip. This is true.
Yeah, and they emerge out of her fingers.
I think she's more of a Tangela, if I'm gonna.
A Tangela, you want to go with?
Yeah, because she's all vine, no bulb.
Yeah. At MIB HQ, Jay is he's the next big thing. He commands a lot of respect. Mm-hmm. He knows the job backwards and forwards. He's very good at it. Mm-hmm. But Nick Cannon shows up.
For half a second, in which case, there's a lot of times in this movie where I'm just like, is that fucking insert name here?
There's a lot of people who are just like, why are you here?
What the fuck?
So yeah, Nick Cannon shows up, and he's like, hey, something went wrong, fix it. And he goes, yeah, okay, can do. Please don't neuralize me. He goes, neuralize you? What do you, yeah. So Jay is basically known right now for just neuralizing partners. You will remember, at the end of the last film, Jay had his last love interest as a partner. She gets hand waved away.
Yeah, he says something to the effect of, you can't blame me for, what was her letter? L?
L.
You can't blame me for L. She wanted to go back to the morgue. I just helped her.
Yeah, she wanted to go back to the morgue. I just helped her. Which means one of two things. One, he neuralized her. Two, he killed her.
Or both. Fuck.
Yeah, right?
This is Men in Black. They don't give a fuck.
Apparently Jay is basically a workaholic now. Ever since Kay left, he's just been doing things nonstop.
Well, he doesn't... We don't know if they ever get off time, or if,
Well, clearly they do. They talk about it sometimes.
Yeah, but, what is that like? You put the suit in the locker, and then you just go to basketball game? You don't have an identity anymore. Where do you get a credit card?
You veg out and watch NXT on TV. You're just like, hey, cool. There's a scene... He goes, all right, Zed, what do you got for me? He goes, Jay, you see all those people out there in suits? They work here, too. We got this. Go take a break. And he goes, if you need me, I'll be in the gym. He goes, look, we got a thing. It looks like Alien on Alien Violence. It's at a pizza place. Go take T. And he goes, oh, yeah, T. He is not here anymore. He goes, did you just neuralize another partner? And he goes, yeah, but, whatever. He goes, you need a partner. And then the dog from the first movie shows up.
Yeah.
Frank the pug.
Yeah.
Who now, I guess, works for MIB.
Yeah, because he used to just work at a newsstand, and then he was like, I'm out this planet.
Yeah.
And then I guess he wasn't out this planet. The joke, guys, by the way, let's explain this joke, because they didn't seem to get it. In the first movie, we thought it was the person who was the alien.
But it was the dog.
And so we thought that was funny, because it looked like a white man was beating up a dog.
Yeah. They thought we loved Frank the pug so much. We wanted him to be a major part of the sequel. And he is.
Oh, so much of this movie revolves around this dog.
Around the dog, right?
And it could have, I would have been fine with it if it was, Danny DeVito, but...
It's just some guy, and it's not very funny. But, so the joke is, you take Frank. Yeah, he's your partner now. So they have a little pug in a little black suit.
Admittedly, that's very cute. I love dogs. I love tiny suits. Dog, tiny suit. All right.
So, but here's the thing, right? This is what we were talking about earlier in the film. Or earlier when I was, talking about this kind of thing. This makes Jay the straight man.
Yeah.
That's bad.
So,
because
yeah, that's true.
Frank is not funnier than Will Smith. Mm-hmm. And the joke is, he's a dog and he's annoying.
Yeah.
This goes on for 30 minutes.
It does. It really does.
It's not great, man. Wow.
We couldn't reshoot the scenes, too, while we were at it? No?
Yeah. At the pizza place, Rosario Dawson is freaking the fuck out, which makes sense.
I mean, if I saw my boss be turned into a skin suit while I was hiding near the tomatoes, yeah.
Me too. And Jay gets her to tell him what's going on.
Before that, let's just acknowledge the fact that what the fuck is Scully doing here?
Yeah, Scully from Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a Man in Black.
Scully works for the MIB. What?
I forgot that. And he just shows up. Scully?
Where's Hitchcock?
And that, when you see him, you expect to see Hitchcock.
You really do.
And it's weird that he's not here.
Yeah.
And that is upsetting.
So I guess all of the people in Brooklyn Nine-Nine secretly are MIB agents.
Works for me. You know what? It's going to be weird this upcoming season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine because they're police and... just pretend they were all Men in Black.
Yeah.
That's the show now.
You know what? Jake Peralta would appreciate that.
Exactly. Michael Schur, call me. I know you're listening.
Take all of the people in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Here's what you do. Pretend they're all Men in Black. Don't talk about it at all. Nobody acknowledge it whatsoever. We have always been looking for aliens.
Yes. 100%.
Doug Judy is actually from fucking Saturn.
Uh-huh.
And then, there's no Planet Pontiac, so that's how you do your last season. There's 10 episodes. They were Men in Black the entire time. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. I just saved television.
Yes. Not that show ever needed to be fixed.
No, but it's a little uncomfortable now because we can't really make cops out to be the good guy.
Well, no, we've tackled that before, but...
Oh, now we really gotta tackle it.
Now we really gotta tackle it. But,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, personally.
Me too. So, Jay gets Laura to tell him what happened. And then uses her trauma to ask her out on a date. A little weird.
What the fuck, Will Smith? Okay, so I got something to say. What the actual... Guys, no. Will Smith, no. What is she? Just some stupid, dumb woman who's here... She is a witness to a murder.
You thought this was weird, too, what?
Yes!
Yeah.
She's a witness to a murder. Have some professionalism. If you're the straight man, what in the hell are you doing?
So, yeah, yep.
What is she? Just some dumb lady? Because, he's just, explaining stuff to her, and I'm just she witnessed an alien murder. What?
She turns out to be a major facet in this film.
Yeah, because...
But she has no character.
No.
She's a lamp.
That's true.
The sexy lamp theory.
Actually, she's a sexy bracelet.
You are correct. You could replace her with a talking lamp or a talking bracelet, and you gain and lose nothing. Rosario Dawson is a great actress.
She is.
Apparently a shitty human. We'll talk about that later. But Like, she's really good at this kind of role. Mm-hmm. And they give her nothing.
Not a damn thing.
There are a lot of poignant speeches in the first movie. I talked about them usually, imagine what you'll know tomorrow. We are them, we are they, we are the men in black. Mm-hmm. Those kinds of things. This movie tries to have the same sense of poignancy and fails every time.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of copy and pasting and putting on your Facebook feed. It loses the whole shit.
Yeah. So, like, Laura tries to say something about the truth being out there, and it wasn't interesting enough for me to write down. Basically, Jay tells her about the aliens and Men in Black and all that jazz.
All the stuff you aren't supposed to tell the witness.
Yeah, and then he goes to neuralize her, like he should.
Yeah.
And then he gets a call and leaves her and doesn't neuralize her.
Because she's too cute. So she's a little too pretty.
You're
a little too
fired.
Nice. Like, you think Lemony Snicket was bad at this job? Will Smith is also.
You can't let that go.
One of the big things is secrecy. I'm pretty sure it's tattooed somewhere on the building.
So there's a reason he does this, and it does kind of feature later on in the film. The idea is that Jay wants somebody to connect with, and he doesn't have that, and he thinks he has it with Laura. But we don't really know that or see that, because honest to God, they probably spend an hour together.
Yeah.
Not even on screen, just in general.
That's true.
Maybe an hour and a half, tops.
Yeah. What?
And
one, unprofessional. Two, barring professional ability. What the hell? What? Is there no women at MIB? Like, what?
There really isn't. There should be. I know it's Men in Black, but, like...
So?
We had Elle from the first movie. Like,
yeah, clearly they weren't against it. Just wear this suit.
And, like, I guess we'll get to it, but a woman is the main character in Men in Black International.
Yeah.
The word men can be considered, like, gender neutral if you...
Yeah, prior to, in the thousands, it was gender neutral. Yeah. But, what the hell? Just ask a nice alien out on a date or something. I don't know.
Just chillax.
But she's not it. Like, just on a preliminary level, even when you're watching this movie, you're just like, I don't know what you're doing,
Yeah,
bud.
You see that, you're just like, something's wrong, and I don't
But don't do it. Don't do it. Neuralize her. Oh, you don't do it because she's too cute. Oh.
Yeah, boy.
So, it's gonna bite us in the ass.
Jay goes out to his car. Frank the pug is in the car singing Who Let the Dogs Out, because it's that kind of movie.
And he's barking along with it.
Oh, boy. I mean, that song was big in 2002. I get it, and he's a dog. But I feel like we should be above that kind of joke. Everybody saw that joke coming, and a better comedian would have jumped right over it.
Yeah.
A worse comedian would keep that going for 4 verses. A better comedian wouldn't have done it at all.
Thanks, Bo.
I miss Bo Burnham. Bo, if you're listening, hit me up, dude.
Thanks, Bo. We love you.
So Jay goes to a containment site where they have found a little bitty spaceship. And they both kind of nail that they're looking for Serlina and the light. But Zed is like, hey, we dealt with this years ago. The light isn't here. I don't know why Serlina's here. And Jay's like, how do you know? Because Zed's like, I sent my best guy. Like, it would be like me sending you. I know it was taken care of. And he's like, well, who's your best guy? And he goes, well, right now he doesn't have his memories. He was a postage worker in Montana. His name is Kevin. Kevin Brown. So we're going to go see Kay.
Hey!
So Tommy Lee Jones plays Kevin. And Kevin he's a postman. He works at a post office.
Just like the last piece of, what were they called? The pink sheet said. He turns...
not Scream Sheets. That's Cyberpunk.
I thought it was pink
Hot Sheets.
Hot Sheets. Pink Sheets is a stock thing.
Yeah. So yeah, he's back working where he used to be before the coma, quote unquote coma. And like that, this is his job, and he's very good at it. He's very affable. He's polite. He's stern because it's Tommy Lee Jones. But
you ever worked a job that doesn't pay that well, and your manager takes this job way too seriously?
Yep.
That's what he's doing, though.
It's a job. He doesn't care. He's got no passion for it, obviously. So Jay walks up to him, skips the line.
Bastard.
And tells Kay who he is in front of just fucking everybody.
Are we just gonna neuralize all these people in the post office?
There's a line of like 20 people. And he's like, hey, you're a guy who fights aliens and we need your help. I also fight aliens. We're the Men in Black. And Kay's just like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's
Crazy
ridiculous.
house is that way.
Yeah. And he's like, Kay, you don't remember me, but we used to work together. And Kevin goes, I never worked in a funeral home. So Jay follows him back, like, into the employee-only area where they're sorting mail and stuff. Mm-hmm. And he's like, look, you understand something's wrong. I know you do, don't you? You ever wonder, like, look up at the sky and wonder why you feel like there's something out there that you can't explain? Mm-hmm. Something that you know more than you think you know? And Kevin is just like, yeah, but how the fuck do you know? And Jay's like, because watch this. And he turns on like a little communicator. And he turns to a guy sorting mail. And it's Biz Marquee.
Oh, is that why they aggressively beatbox at each other?
They beatbox at each other in this like alien language.
It's not alien, it's beatboxing.
It's beatboxing, but like Will Smith beatboxes and then Biz Marquee beatboxes in reverse. Like they reverse his
Oh,
audio.
is that what happened?
Yeah, you can kind of tell. Biz Marquee, hi!
Hey!
You!
The third time I'm gonna say this.
What
the fuck is Biz Marquee doing here?
You say he just a friend. Good to see Biz Marquee. And so, like, they do this little battle back and forth. And then Biz stands up and, like, looks at everybody. And everybody, like, takes off their head.
Yeah, one guy splits himself in half. One guy reveals that he has a really tiny head. Another guy reveals he's just a series
of like multiple hands. It looks like Vishnu, just like sorting mail.
Well, to be fair, when I looked at the machine and it was just spitting mail out into the like, it looks like a printer that's just spitting mail into a series of mailboxes on the wall.
Right.
And I'm like, that's some fucking magic right there. Because one, if we had a machine like that, it would be in every goddamn office. And two, it would jam every 20 seconds.
Absolutely, it would. I've worked at any place before. So it turns out everyone Kay works with is an alien. And Jay is like, yeah, basically everyone who works at a post office is an alien.
How else are we going to get people to work there?
That would fuck you up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't faze Kevin at all.
Well, he gets into his car and he's like, I'm out of this.
Well, no, it's more like, and even Jay says, why do you think you're so comfortable right now? Mm-hmm. Like, this is the weirdest thing. And he's just cool with it. So Kevin gets in his car and he's like, whatever you're doing, I want nothing a part of it. And Jay stops him and he's like, hey, have you ever wondered why you think you know more than everybody else? That's why your wife left you.
And I was scandalized.
Yeah.
Like, how actually dare you writers of this movie?
Yeah, basically, Kevin is going through depression. His world doesn't make sense to him anymore. And this kind of rift in his personality separated him from his wife.
Oh my god. How dare you undo his happy ending? How actually dare you?
And the reason why they do it, we find out later in the film, is really annoying.
It's so annoying. But I was just taken aback. And I am not thrilled with this turn of events. Because he deserved his happy ending, god damn it.
Yeah. So, Kevin gets into Jay's car. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm just going for a ride. Take me wherever you need to go, but I'm not accepting anything. I'm just going for a ride. So away they go back to Men in Black HQ, which is in New York, even though he was in, like, Montana.
Well, there's a warp drive on that thing or whatever.
Sure, but... Okay.
Time-space continuum, I don't know.
Kevin walks in, and everybody knows him, but he doesn't know anybody. Mm-hmm. This is my worst nightmare. It's like, hey, Kay, how's it going? You're the best in the world. You're the most feared human in the universe. It's Kay. Hey, look, everybody, it's Kay. And Kevin is just like, hi, yes, I am. What's going on?
How does everyone know me, and why are they calling me that?
He's just rolling with it.
I mean, he's also surrounded by aliens, so I also would be like, oh, God.
Yeah. Michael Jackson shows up for a cameo.
Again, what the fuck is Michael Jackson doing here?
Michael Jackson, and it's Michael Jackson.
He's not an alien.
He's not well, he is an alien.
Is he?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Okay.
The fact is he's an alien and wants to be a part of Men in Black.
I see.
And he can be Agent M.
And they were just like, nah, we're okay, hon.
We're okay with that, buddy.
He straight up hangs up on Michael Jackson. And, like, say what you want about Michael Jackson, but you hung up on Michael Jackson?
It's funny that he's here, like, acknowledging the fact that he's fucking weird. We take Kevin over to the weaponry, and we give him the noisy cricket. And we get him outfitted with the last suit he'll ever wear. Again.
Yeah.
So they set him in something called a deneuralizer. Jay goes on this lengthy explanation. He's like, deneuralizer. What's about to happen is we're about to pulse energy through your brain, unlocking all of your memories and instincts from when you last were neuralized. And Kevin goes, that's great. What's that thing? The deneuralizer.
It's not like it could be distracted by anything. It was a white room with a white egg in it.
There are some parts of this movie, specifically, it's just Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah,
is the only interesting part. Their rapport, their back and forth, their banter is still very good. But everything else, man, oh boy. Serlina and Knoxville just show up at the Men in Black headquarters.
Well, it looks like they were trying to look like they got in here legitimately.
Yeah,
right?
So they're basically posing as aliens coming in, trying to find a place to live.
Because, again, we're just a big airport.
Yeah.
Also, in the background, I was checking it out because I didn't want to look straight into the eyes of that weird bird thing.
Yep.
There's, like, a Sprint store and a Burger King. Did we get sponsored? Does the Sprint work in space? Like, is there Burger Kings in...
Well, I imagine if you're an alien, you're gonna need a phone, right? And you're just gonna be like, I guess I'm with Sprint now.
What?
Sprint PCS wireless.
So Sprint, like, I have a lot of questions. Like, logistically, one, those should be offices. We established
That's true.
in the first one, and two, like, how?
No, now it's a fucking Jamba Juice.
Now it's a fucking Jamba Juice. Like, is capitalism working its way?
I was gonna say,
okay,
we're just gentrifying everything.
Like, we are supposed to be they. We are them. They don't know us except Burger King and Sprint. Like, what's happening?
We are they. We are them. We are Five Guys.
Like, it doesn't make any sense that a franchise is in this
building. Set up in Men in Black. That's a good point. I didn't even face that. What did the paperwork look like? I want to set up a Burger King. Where? Over there?
Nowhere?
No.
Don't worry about it.
Just give me the forms.
We're just getting money from nowhere. Like.
I mean, I'm not going to question it. It's like that.
It's like embezzling. It's like whatever the.
Yeah, it's the reverse laundry.
Like, we're getting more money than we should be.
It reminds me of that Brian David Gilbert sketch where he's like, I make $20,000 a week. Do you want to know how? Me too. Because I don't understand. I mean, the money keeps showing up and I keep calling my bank and they're just like, Mr. Gilbert, that's yours. You deposited it. Like that kind of thing.
That's true. So my point is that I know this is like some Burger King and Sprint probably paid a lot of money to be in this movie. Yeah. But it makes no logistical sense. One, you're in an airport. There's always a Burger King in the airport, and it's never any good. Fight me.
I was surprised it wasn't like an Auntie Anne's.
There's always a McDonald's that's weirdly crowded.
There's a fucking Applebee's.
That's never crowded.
Yeah.
Airports are the worst, but this airport, like, the line doesn't take that long. You don't have to wait for a flight. There's a warp drive over there. Like, my point being is, that doesn't make any sense.
I didn't even think of that. You know, I know there's so many bigger problems in this movie, but what the fuck?
Add it to my count, like, what the fuck is Burger King doing here?
So Serlina and Johnny Knoxville show up, and she, like, flashes her underwear, like she's in a bra. And she's like, ha! And they're just like, you
guys are supposed to be the best trained agents and whatever.
Serlina uses Vine Whip. It's super effective.
Johnny Knoxville fakes a heart attack. Or maybe he has a real heart attack. I don't know.
No, yeah, he fakes a heart attack and gets everybody close. Serlina just attacks all of them. The highest security in the universe is taken up. One alien went rogue and we're all fucked.
Yeah. apparently we don't have any security
whatsoever
in headquarters if a Tangela gets in and decides to take us all into some sort of tangled knot and stick us in the Burger King.
There was no, like, turrets should have came down from the ceiling.
There should have been some sort of vacuum.
There should have been guys with guns. There should have been that.
Every person in a suit should have a gun.
Noisy cricket. Bring out a fucking Dalek. Do something.
It's true. I want to see the Doctor just hanging out and like waiting for his warp drive. I don't know.
So everything goes into lockdown. Because she just takes the place over 100%. Okay. Jay and Kevin are still in the deneuralizer. And he's like, oh, there's been a breach. We're going to get flushed. He's like, flushed? What do you mean? He goes, hold on. And a bunch of blue water comes down from the sky and literally flushes them down a giant toilet, I guess.
Yeah, it turns out the deneuralizer is in a toilet.
And that's like, and we get a shot from above, and it's like unambiguously a toilet.
Yeah. He asked, like, you ever been on a water slide or something like that?
Yeah. Okay.
Poop jokes are only funny in American Vandal season 2.
It's so weird. It's like, it's weirdly like, just like, that's not a joke. Like, that's, it's a toilet. So that deneuralizer is the only official one in the world. But there's like a bootleg one. I guess the concept art got out.
Yeah.
And there's a bootleg one out there. And it's controlled by Jeeves. Remember him?
It's Tony Shalhoub.
Remember first movie? Remember that first movie?
It's controlled by Monk.
How much, yeah, right? How much better that was than this. Let's go see Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah.
Jeeves tries to mess with Kevin because he's no longer afraid of him because Kevin doesn't have any memories. But he goes like, all right, so where's the neuralizer? And he goes, I don't know where it is, and I'm not going to show it to you. And, like, Kevin just, like, stares at him. And Tommy Lee Jones has a great, like, face.
That's
like,
true.
He's got, like, a hard stare. Like he's Paddington. And, like, he just, like, stares daggers into him. He goes, even if I did have it, what's the point? Like, you're going to shoot my head off now, or I'll undo it. The neuralization, he's going to shoot my head off just for old time's sake. So he goes, all right, fine. Come with me. It's downstairs. Meanwhile, Serlina sets up a suicide squad full of aliens and says, whoever brings me K gets Earth.
Yeah, apparently we had, I don't know, prison somewhere here. Sure, why not?
I guess that makes sense.
Even though our entire motive was like, oh, you're bad now? We'll just kill you. Like,
yeah.
Sure.
So Jeeves sets up Kevin to what looks like, a trap from Saw 3. Like, it's rusty. It's like,
that's true.
Gross. They hook him up with, like, different, like, lashes and, it's
to a dental chair.
Yeah, it's got this big, like, spinning fan. It's flashing lights.
There's a bowling ball circling it for some reason.
Yeah, it's like a Rube Goldberg machine for some reason. So he flicks the button, and Jay is like, is this going to work? And he goes, I don't know. I've never used it before.
I've only ever used it to make popcorn.
They flip the switch, and there is either a blackout or they cause a blackout.
Yeah, I think they cause a blackout.
I think they cause a blackout. The entire power grid of New York goes out, which kind of stops the thing, the deneuralization. And they flick it back on, and it finishes, and it just ejects Kev out to, like, the floor.
Like Looney Tunes style. Like, you expect him to go through a magic hole in the wall and come out as a Looney Tune.
Yeah, and so they run back to him, and they're like, are you okay? And he blows Jeeves' head off, and he's like, you're back! And he goes, nope, still don't know. He's like, then how did you know his head was going to grow back? And Kev goes, it grows back?
Also, we forgot the Noisy Cricket's gimmick is that it pushes you back when you use it.
Yeah, it's Sonic. Like, it pushes you, and it didn't really happen.
And it doesn't happen when Kay uses it.
Yeah. So, Kev is just like, I'm done. This whole thing is stupid. Nothing makes sense anymore. I'm leaving forever. Goodbye. And Jeeves is like, okay, first of all, this thing doesn't work as fast as we want it to. You gotta let your brain reboot. Like, you can't go anywhere. We don't know what's gonna happen to you. And Kev is just like, I'm out. And Jay is like, I'm gonna go find him. And then a wall blows up and the Suicide Squad shows up.
Yeah, we don't need to know their names because it's not going to be relevant in a minute. These are the worst aliens you could get on short notice, huh, Selena?
Yeah. And so they break in and they're just like, Jay, where's Kay? And he's like, Kay's retired. I'm his trigger-happy replacement. And they're like, all right. And they knock him down. And he's like, get him up. What's it say? Bend him?
Yeah. Break his back. Make him humble.
He goes, bend him. And he goes, bend him. Don't bend him. And they pick up Jay, and they get him like a Lex Luger torture rack.
That's true. And they start, like, squeezing him.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, oh, he's paralyzed now, huh? That's just...
Yeah. They're just trying to beat info out of him. Meanwhile, Kev is outside.
That goddamn bike from earlier.
Yeah.
Where it was like a tandem bike and they're all lit up and they have stars on them or something. And it like tripped something in Will Smith's brain earlier in the film and I didn't get it. It tripped something in Kay's brain. Still don't get it.
It's just because it's peculiar. So Kev kind of goes out and he starts noticing all the weird shit. He sees people with tails and he sees like the two guys on a bike and he's just like, something's upset. And like he looks up at the stars and that kind of jingles something in his brain. And he goes to, there's a bug crawling on the ground. He goes to step on it, but he stops. And the bug looks up at him and he goes, damn decent of you. And walks away. And then you see this like realization that he's like, oh God, here we go again. K is back.
We've uploaded all the K files.
More or less.
He's not thrilled.
Yeah. Just as they are about to kill Jay, Kay returns and just starts blowing motherfuckers away. Boom, boom, boom.
Again, the noisy cricket's supposed to kick you back, but it doesn't.
And so, yeah, he shows up, and he's like, you still got a lot to learn, Slick. And he's like, he's back. So he just starts beating other aliens up. He kicks one alien in the crotch.
Yeah.
And it, like, doesn't do anything. And Jay goes, Kay, he's a bald Chinian. So he rips down his, like, face shield. And they're balls.
On his chin.
They're testicles hanging from his chin. A bald Chinian. To which he drop kicks.
That guy just stands there. Like, he could have beat the shit out of Kay if he wanted to. Like,
That's... What?
What?
A bald Chinian? Wow.
What? Alright.
So, whatever. So, Kay's back, and he's like, I remember everything. And it was great. Where's the light? Have no idea. What is the light? Still don't know. All right, so what do you know? I guess I must have neuralized myself way back when, so even I wouldn't know what's going on. Great!
I left myself this picture in my pocket, just in case, though.
Yeah,
what?
So, yeah, he's got this, like, half a picture in his pocket. Mm-hmm. It's of himself, and it looks like he's holding his arm around somebody, but we can't really see it. So they get in the car, and Jay's like, all right, turn right here. We're going back to MIB. No, okay. Turn right up here. We're going back to MIB. You're missing the turns. And he's like, we're not going back to MIB. He goes, why not? We got to get in there. We got to start shooting people, start splitting wigs.
Busting caps
and whatnot. To which Kay is like, yeah, okay. What are we going to see when we get there? And he's like, I don't know, bad guys. Great. And they've had all this time to prepare. What do you think they're doing? Probably setting up a trap. And Jay is like, you're right, which is why we should not go back there under any circumstance.
Let's go back to the scene of the crime. All right, let's do that.
So they get back to the pizza place where I guess Laura still is. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have a home or friends or family, which actually it makes sense when we'll get there. So we get out and he's like, okay, we have a witness here. He goes, okay, but she's been neuralized, right? And Jay is like, well, he goes, you neuralized her, right? Section S8142 SG137IU says that everyone must be neuralized. And he's like, yeah, well, you know. So we get to Laura. And we're like, hey, what's,
After she's done hitting him with a pizza pan.
Yeah. What do you know about this whole thing? And she's like, nothing. I don't even know why we're here. And Kay is like, okay, there's something here that I need to figure out. So Jay goes off to try to find a bunch of clues, like he's in an escape room.
Yeah.
And Kay sees that picture on the wall. Mm-hmm. And he's like, was this the guy who got split in half? And he's like, yeah, do you know him? He goes, nope, never seen him before in my life. And he holds up the picture, and it fits. It's the same picture. Mm-hmm. And Kay in the picture is pointing to something. as if we follow his finger, he's pointing to, like, there's a little key hanging on the rack.
Yes.
So they're like, okay, this key opens something. I guess it's a locker in Grand Central Station. We're gonna go there.
Yep. And Will Smith is trying to do it like escape room, and he makes a joke that this must be all about anchovies packed in oil.
Yeah. And Jay, like, he's trying to be the, you know, like when you haven't seen somebody, like, if you haven't seen, like, a parent in a while, you want to show them that you've, like, learned so much since you've seen them. So you start, like, overcompensating, and then they still kick your ass.
Yep.
That's what's going on here. Jay even calls Kay slick. Trying to, that doesn't work.
No.
So Kay goes to neuralize Laura, and Jay stops him. And he's like, why? And he goes, because I like her. And
well,
like, yeah. And it's like, well, we can't leave her here. She knows too much, and she's gonna die. It's like, it's okay. We can take her someplace. So we take her back to the coffee worms from the first movie. I didn't talk about them because they were a one-off character.
Yeah.
And like Frank the Pug, they are now integral to the plot.
Somehow.
We keep getting, like, back and forth between, like, the Pug. The Pug still shows up. We're just not talking about him because he's not part of the, like, the storyline.
Well, he's in, what was it? He's still in the headquarters.
Still in MIBHQ, and he's kind of like their man on the inside. But nobody attacks him, I guess, because he's a dog? I don't know.
He's hiding in a bunch of tentacles. I don't know what the hell's happening over there.
Gross. So, yeah, that's a thing. And now we got to deal with the fucking coffee worms.
Yeah, they have an apartment. The joke is that everyone has to crouch down because they're worms.
They're worms and they're small. And we're going inside.
Point is, Rosario Dawson has to stay with the worms.
Yeah. We go inside John Malkovich's head. Because everything is like half the size.
Oh.
So yeah, they take him to the coffee worms. They're in here. The joke is they're all fucking creepy and rapey.
I think they're a stereotype.
Yeah, but I don't know for what.
I think they're like a Mexican stereotype.
They almost sound Mexican, right? It's upsetting. At one point, Jay tells her to not fall asleep. It's not great.
Okay.
So Jay and Laura kiss for some reason.
She doesn't know his name.
She doesn't even know his letter.
Doesn't even know his letter. He is pushing her around town for reasons she's not 1,000% sure on. Her boss was killed in and around her during what could affectionately be called a robbery.
Yep.
And now she's meeting aliens. How is she not screaming
forever
at the top of her lungs? And now there are these weird sexual harassing aliens who want to play, what was it, Twister?
They play Twister
With her because she's a woman.
Yeah. Again, we still know nothing about Laura.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know.
What is Laura's last name?
She doesn't even have a personality.
It's Vasquez, I think.
Yeah.
Like, what did she do before this? Did she want to run the pizzeria? Give
Not
me
really.
Preliminary information about Laura.
So, we go to the locker, and inside the locker is, like, a society of little furry aliens who worship Kay as a god.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because he gave them a Timex watch that lights up. And so they gave them light, gave them time, that kind of thing.
Will Smith puts his watch in there.
Yeah, so Kay grabs his watch because he needs it. And so Jay is like, oh, it's okay, you guys have mine. And they start worshiping Jay as a god. And they're like, oh, wait, you forgot the commandments, the talisman. And it's like a Blockbuster card. Yeah. And it's like, these are the things we abide by. Be kind, rewind. Always do unto others as you would have done unto you.
2 for 1.
2 for 1. Always give more than you receive. Large adult section in back. And they look, and there's like a little porn, like an adult red light district where they all go to. So now you get to imagine all these little furry things masturbating. Great, thanks.
Ugh, gross. And they all look like men.
So, yeah. Whatever. The watch says we got an hour left to find whatever it is we're finding. We still don't really know. The light. Whatever the light is. So we go to that video store where the card is from. It's not a Blockbuster. It's just something. It's like Hot Topic if they sold movies.
Yeah, it's like a weird combo of Hot Topic and Blockbuster. Like
Hot Bluster.
Yeah, and like if it was run in 1992 based on that computer.
Yeah, it was 2002. Anyway, so he's like, "Oh, can we use this card?" And she's like, "This is older than I am." Like, yeah, but it'll still work. David Cross shows up again. He's a different character than he was in the first movie.
I was about to say, wasn't he here the first time around?
Yeah.
Who was he in the first round?
He was the guy who worked at the morgue. And he gets stuck to the ceiling by the bad guy.
Oh, yeah. I guess he changed professions.
Yeah, no, it's a different character.
Is it?
Completely.
Oh.
So David Cross shows up again, and he seems to recognize that they're Men in Black, but, like, he's a conspiracy theorist. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, there they are. Catch any aliens and whatnot? And they're just like, we don't know what the fuck you're talking about. What is this tape? And he goes, on this account, we never rented a tape, but they reserved a tape. So the tape is that episode of, like...
From the opening sequence.
It's
what's it called? Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries, and it's the same thing we watched earlier.
Yeah.
Like, beat for beat. It's the same thing.
And I'm just distracted by this man's amazing hair.
Yeah. So we go to David Cross's house for some reason. Because he's got the film there and not in his shop, whatever.
We make a joke about how he lives with his mother at age 40.
We make the world's most obvious joke. Because he's a conspiracy nerd, so he lives with his mother.
This goth girl wants to have his baby.
Which is out of nowhere, like...
She wants to go to Cambodia.
Yeah, I don't get it. So, we watch the opening scene again. This time, they kind of, like, Mystery Science Theater over it, trying to make it up a little bit. And then Kay starts having flashbacks. And they're just like, it was daytime, and when this happened. And Kay goes, no, it was nighttime. And it was raining. And we cut to the thing, the actual goings on. There was a princess of Zarthon.
Sure. She's wearing a black hood. The Tangela's wearing a black hood.
So yeah, Serlina shows up, and they're like, "You must hide this on Earth." And Kay is like, "Not in a million years, because if they do that, we die. What we will do is we'll fire it off. We have to remain neutral. Earth has to remain neutral. We are not prepared for intergalactic war." So they do this whole thing. Serlina shows up, and they like fire at her, and Kay's like, "You're too late!" And he gestures wildly to a rocket that fires off, and he's like, "The light's in there." And Serlina turns and shoots and kills the princess. And Kay is super distraught. Because I guess
he had a thing for
a thing for her,
even though he was also pining for his wife. Remember?
Well, that's the thing. That's why they broke up, him and his wife, for this subplot. Yeah.
But Men in Black won, though.
Yeah, forget that. That's old.
And now we have to chase a bracelet.
And so Jay looks at Kate and is like, "Okay, so all that happened. You never sent it off the planet, did you? The light is still here on Earth, isn't it?" And he's like, "Yeah, we gotta go." And somehow they trace this to the bracelet that Laura is wearing.
Like, they remember that... Kay remembers that that there was a bracelet that he took off the dead body of the princess.
Yeah.
And he's like, shit, we gotta find that bracelet.
Yeah, the implication is the bracelet is the light, whatever that is.
He never says it.
But that's the implication. Yeah, you're right. It's never said. But so they neuralize everybody in the house, and they do a rehash of Jay gives a very long new memory to somebody.
Yeah.
It's not as funny, but it does have, like, at one point the lady starts talking about how in Cambodia you can get lobster for $1. And so he goes, like, he flashes them and he goes, "You, get contacts, you'll look better. Take her to Cambodia. Buy her a lobster dinner. Pay more than $1. Have a bunch of kids, and we're out of here.
Get your life together."
Yeah, get your life together.
And then, what's the name of that guy with the glasses?
David Cross.
David Cross is just like, "Hey, you want to go to Cambodia?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so he picks up a shovel and be like, "Mom!"
Yeah, the implication that he killed his mother?
He billed his mother for, like, the insurance money to take her to Cambodia.
The fuck? All right.
What is this movie? What is happening right now?
So they call Laura, and they're like, "Hey, are you wearing a bracelet?" And she's like, "Yeah." He goes, cool. Is that bracelet glowing? And she's like, yeah.
Son of a bitch it is.
Why? We'll be there in 10. And so Kay turns to Jay and says, why didn't you say you love her? And Jay's like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, don't look at me like that, man. He goes, why didn't you say that you loved her? You've been emotionally compromised. You connected with this woman. He goes, yeah, it's the same thing you did with the princess. And he goes, yeah, don't make my mistake.
How would you know that? How would you...
This concept could be good. Like, the loneliness of being a Man in Black, having connections with other people, and then having to lose them.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, and it's not done well at all.
The fact that Elle left him, the fact that he can't get a girlfriend, because what is he gonna...
Nobody can remember him. There are these interesting... And Kay has been at this job for so long that it cost him basically his whole life with his wife. And then she left him because he couldn't cope with not being a Man in Black anymore.
On a subconscious level that he couldn't control.
Yeah. It's a super interesting concept. And they don't spend nearly enough time on any of it.
I feel like the first draft of Men in Black 2 was real good. And then we fucked with it.
We kind of cut a lot of stuff down. And it's missing, like, the first Men in Black had a lot of, like, heart. You know, these moments of longing and wish fulfillment and all these things. And this one just kind of chucks the whole thing out. It feels very hollow.
But you feel like there was an original script that we just tore up and threw a Burger King in there.
Yeah, there's stuff there. Like I said, there's good stuff there. But yeah, Kay, basically, he never sent it off the planet, and he neuralized himself, so he lied to everybody, including himself. Even he doesn't know where it is. Nobody knows where it is.
But there's a bracelet and it's glowing, and we got, 20 minutes until the Earth blows up, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have much time at all, even though, there's no way all this shit took less than an hour.
Oh, right. Forgot to mention, while all this shit was going down, the Tangela was interrogating, what's his name? Zed. And he tries to throw, she's just like, give us the girl and we won't blow up the planet or whatever.
Yeah.
Or give us the light or whatever the fuck it is. Nobody knows. And he's just like, ha, you win. Here's a phone call to Michael Jackson. And, and then he does really bad karate at her and then she knocks him out. It's honestly a terrible scene. What in the seven hells is happening?
I think that's why I didn't write it down, because it's so... And there's a lot of these kinds of scenes. A lot of, phone call scenes. They're not even exposition. They're just, they're attempts at comedy, and it doesn't hit. So anyway, they go back to the worm house, and all the worms are beat to shit. They're, beat down. Some of them are cut in half. None of them are dead, because we're not that lucky. And,
apparently, I don't understand. Who got Rosario Dawson?
Presumably it was Johnny Knoxville, but we don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, remember we were talking about Johnny Knoxville? He ain't here anymore. He's not even, he talked about.
Walked off camera, she gave him a command, and then we forgot.
At one point, he had his final line, and I don't know where it was. So, yeah, they basically, bad guys came in, two-headed dude came in, took Laura, sent him back to MIB HQ. So we're going to the place where we danced around for fucking ages. Serlina wants the bracelet, but also wants Kay for some reason.
Because I guess he sent her on a wild goose chase and she wants vengeance.
And she's just bitter, I guess. I don't know. So this time, we're no longer messing around. There's not going by the book. Kay says it's time to split some wigs. So wigs shall be split. They go into this random apartment where a family is just living.
Yeah, they're watching Martha Stewart. Again, what the fuck is Martha Stewart doing here?
I don't know.
This is you see Martha Stewart 2 or 3 times throughout this film for no reason.
Yeah, that's the joke. Everybody's watching Martha Stewart. They come in, they hit a button, and the back door opens up. The wall opens up. And there's just guns everywhere. The worms are still here, and they get outfitted in giant guns. Whatever.
We neuralize them, and we're like, cherish your life. It might only last 30 minutes.
I have it written down here. We're just going to start shooting motherfuckers. So they get all their guns, they walk back out, and they neuralize the family. And he goes, "You did not see a big room full of shiny weapons, nor did you see 4 alien life forms. You will love and cherish each other for the rest of your lives." And Jay goes, "Which might only be like 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how this goes. So get to cherishing really fast. Also," and he points to the little girl, "she can stay up as late as she wants and can eat cookies and cakes and stuff. All right, bye." So, like I said, they outfit the worms and weapons. I don't know if it's for help or if it's a joke. Mm-hmm. Either way, it's not that funny. Jay and Kay get back down to HQ, where they are immediately shot at by a Dalek turret that should have been here before, but it wasn't.
I guess we couldn't afford a Dalek, so it's just like a weird trash can amalgamation. Yeah. But it's a Dalek. Like,
it's basically a Dalek.
Yeah.
Looks like a trash can, but it's a Dalek. So here's the game.
Oh, we forgot to mention that what's his name? Rip Torn is still guarding the entrance, and he's just like, "Oh, about time you guys showed up."
That's not Rip Torn.
Oh, then who's guarding the entrance?
Some guy.
Some guy's just like reading the hot sheets, being like, "Satan escaped hell. Yeah. What do now?" Be like, "About time you guys showed up."
Things are going crazy down there.
Which one's Rip Torn then?
Rip Torn is Zed.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So they get into the thing. The turret opens fire, but JK and the worms are like splinter celling at the top of the elevator. So the elevator just looks like it's empty. And the door stays open for way longer than an elevator usually does. And so Kay is like, "Here's what we're going to do. You're going to go up to the top floor and save Laura because she's in a spaceship for some reason.
We're gonna
launch her to space."
I think the idea is that even
Serlina doesn't know what she's doing.
Even Serlina thinks that, 1, they want her, so we'll just destroy her, and 2, they think the bracelet's the light, or whatever.
So it's like, here's what we're going to do. You're going to go up, you're going to save Laura. No matter what happens, do not come back for me. And Jay's like, "What?" And he goes, "Shut up and go." And so Jay drops down, and Kay, like, opens fire. And he's like, "Worms, give me some covering fire." And they're like, "We can't, we're too scared." Thanks for fucking coming. Waste of time and celluloid.
Yep.
So Kay starts opening fire upside down. Kind of badass.
He kicks a hole in the roof and tells them to go kill the power.
Yeah. So yeah, that's their job. And they're like, "Go kill the power." And like, we can't go out there. It's guns. And so he kicks a hole in the roof and he's like, "Go up there." It's like, away from the guns. Jesus. This movie,
eh? Boy. Anyway.
So, Kay drops down and is immediately intercepted by Serlina.
Hey.
Like, he's like, "I'm here." And then Serlina's like, "Fine whip." And they tangle him up. And this is what Kay does for the climax of the film.
Yeah.
He just stays there and tied up. They talk. She explains why she's mad. Kay doesn't listen. Whatever.
I don't know. Meanwhile,
Jay goes back up to find Laura before she's launched off into space or something. But Jay is stopped by some alien who's got, like, a vendetta against him. But we are never told why.
I think he said that the alien stole the ozone layer.
Yeah, well, it's just an arrest. Like,
yeah, and so now he wants to beat the shit out of Jay, I guess.
Yeah, so when Serlina set up the Suicide Squad, he's like, "We'll get you whatever you want." And then this big, tall alien is like, "I want Jay." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, cool." And that's all we learn. Mm. And then Jay shows up and he's like, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing here?" He goes, "I've been thinking about you since I got locked up." It's like, "Well, you did try to steal the ozone layer, so..." And it's like, it's supposed to be this, like, big, like, head-to-head confrontation. It's like, oh, this is where the fun begins. But no, I thought it was the big worm from earlier.
No.
In, like, a human suit.
No.
No, it's not. Like, we've never seen this guy before.
And it's just, like, a dude, a head on flying saucers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
whatever. Oh, point is, Will Smith fights it.
A lot of jokes in this movie come down to Jay yelling in pain and surprise. Because he did it, like, once in the first movie. And so now he has to do it 7 times.
What's that speech from 22 Jump Street where they were just like, they think if we just throw more money at it, we can do the same thing, but again. Anyway, my wife left me.
Just do the same thing, but again. How many times do I got to tell you guys?
They keep thinking if they throw more money at it, it'll be even funnier. I don't know.
So there is one funny joke in this whole thing. Jay is fighting the bad guy who's like just a bunch of little heads on saucers. They fly around. He beats them all and falls in this large pile of like plastic tubing.
Yeah. Like it's vent tubing. It's not like anything weird. It's just...
But he's like launched like directly in the middle. And so in the background you hear like 45 seconds to launch. And it's like Jay trying to get out, but he can't like stand up. So it's like we're on the scene for like 30 seconds. And it's like 30 seconds to launch. Son of 15 seconds to launch. And then we stay on that for a while. Just Will Smith flopping around like a fish.
And it's funny as hell.
It is the funniest part of this movie.
I think this close second comes when he was fighting the heads on saucers. He picks up a metal pole and he starts hitting them like a baseball bat. And like Rosario Dawson is just like, go, leave me, because I don't know why. Yeah. Why not? And he's like, why? I'm winning.
Yeah. Leave you? Why? I'm winning.
But he's not. He's getting his ass kicked.
Okay, so Jay beats up all the bad guys, saves Laura. This whole time, Serlena's been monologuing. She could have killed Kay right away. He's literally confined in a cocoon of, like,
what's the Pokemon
vines.
move? Bind or whatever?
He can't move for shit.
Yeah.
And Serlena's just talking to him. But Jay sneaks up behind her and completely atomizes her.
Yep.
Like,
see ya.
Out of nowhere, one shot, one kill, Serlena's dead.
Why didn't we do this in the 70s?
Except for a little seedling that's gonna be back.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I mean,
anyway,
you see it on the floor and you're just like, well, that's gonna bite us in the ass.
So, Serlena's wearing the bracelet. And the bracelet is essentially a bomb, I guess. And they're like, oh, so we gotta go take the light to the place. And Kay's like, that's not the light. So what the hell do you mean that's not the light? No, this tells us where the light is. Alright, we'll follow the fucking bracelet. It's like, if we don't get there in time, it explodes. Since when?
Well, she explained, like, what's her nuts? Explained earlier to Zed, just like, either you give me the light and we all get what we want, or you keep the light and everything dies. So
yeah, but like, you're just adding like, oh, it's a bomb now. Oh, a different reason for us to hurry.
Okay. There's always a battle cruiser in space. Yeah. There's always a bomb somewhere.
So
sure,
they get into their super duper car and they drive away. And now Serlena's back. Like, it was a little microbe running around. But it not only is it back full form, that makes sense. That's the thing that the alien does. But it's Lara Flynn Boyle again.
Yeah. It turns out if you just leave any part of her alive, she just regenerates.
Yeah, but like, does it need a visual look to change into something? Or can it just remember?
I think it can just remember. I think the implication, it just remembered.
But like, out of nowhere, it's Lara Flynn Boyle in her underwear again. She must have been cold. Anyway.
Men wear suits, girls wear underwear. How great.
Jesus. So they're driving and it's a chase. She's in a ship, like a flying ship.
Yep.
So Kay hits the red button. But it's changed because it's a new car. That's a joke, but we didn't talk about it.
It's no longer the NOS button.
Yeah, so they hit the button, and it turns into the Batwing. Like, it turns into a flying car. Okay. And for no reason at all, the steering wheel goes away, and out pops a PlayStation 2 controller.
Oh, boy.
For no reason.
Yeah.
And the joke is, Tommy Lee Jones is old. He doesn't understand controller because video games not for olds. You damn kids and your video games and your Snapchat.
Meanwhile, my father is kicking my ass on a PlayStation 5.
Here we are in fucking, what's that game called? Destiny.
He's so good at it.
So
I hate it.
They fight. They slap fight for a little bit. Kay can't figure out the controllers because there's too many buttons. I don't know why there isn't either a joystick, like a flight stick, or a steering wheel. It's just dumb. So they have to switch spots. So now Jay is driving.
There was an awkward thing when the car flipped over where he gets to be on top of Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, gross. So we have, he flies down into the subway.
Yeah.
And Serlena's like, morons. And Kay is like, moron, what are we doing here? He goes, I have an idea, just watch this. So Jay flies to where that giant worm was. Giant worm's name's Jeffrey, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff.
And so he flies just to the point where, like, it eats him. It would eat him. And he bails out of the way. And Serlina flies right into it. And is killed for a second time.
Yeah, okay, but she says, she's completely unfazed by it. She's like, oh, teeth. Oh.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And I'm just like, are you acting? Are you trying to act? What is happening right now?
Yeah. Oh, teeth. Okay. So she's dead again.
Sure.
Here we are.
All right.
So it's time to find the light. We go to where the bracelet took us. It's like, okay, where is the light? And Kay goes, the light is right here. And points to Laura.
Pardon?
Pardon? So here is the thing. Laura is part of the alien race from earlier in the movie. The one with the princess. And it is heavily, and I mean heavily implied that she is Kay's daughter.
Yeah, because, like, he had a thing for the princess.
Yeah.
And, like, Jay point blank asked him, did you and the princess ever...
Yeah, and he refuses to talk about it, but it is heavily implied that Rosario Dawson is Kay's biological daughter.
What?
So, the thing is, she's Superman, essentially. She was sent to Earth because their planet was in trouble. And as long as she is alive, A, she's a part of the royal bloodline, and B, she can repopulate the Earth.
Her planet, or whatever.
Yeah. So if she doesn't get off the planet, back to her home planet, I guess.
To become the new princess.
Yeah. They're going to destroy Earth, I guess. So Jay and Laura, who have had this, like, thing going on, look at each other and they're just like, it's not fair. And, like, yeah, I guess it's not. But we just met you guys. And because we can't have an emotional moment for too long in this movie without an action scene, the giant worm shows back up again. Jeffrey is like, brah, worm. And Jay is like, Jeffrey, can you see I'm doing a thing, man? Because I am very mad at you right now. And Jeffrey then turns into a giant Venus flytrap. Serlina has taken over the worm's body.
So this is where it gets a little bit more funny. Like,
yeah, this bitch won't die. So Kay basically, so Jay attacks the worm, and he's like wrapped up in all the vines. And while this emotional scene is happening between Kay and I guess his daughter, you hear the Jay in the back going, "Wah, wah, Kay, Kay."
Yeah, they're rehashing that birth scene.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because he's just one-handedly shooting, blindly shooting at the thing. He could be hitting Will Smith. He doesn't know.
Yeah, so Kay, Tommy Lee Jones has a great straight face. And so, like, he's talking very, like, emotionally with Rosario Dawson and just one-handedly firing blindly with no emotional change on his face at this giant worm thing, almost hitting Jay several times.
And that is funny. Like, just... But it's not supposed to be. Like, we're saying goodbye to Rosario.
No, it is supposed to be funny. Like, that is the joke. But
also, we're supposed to be saying goodbye to Rosario Dawson.
It's undercutting this emotional tension, which it wasn't really good in the first place. So he's like, basically, look, if you die, we die. So if you don't get on this ship, they're going to blow up the Earth, and then they're going to kill your home planet that you don't know and have never understood. What the fuck do you care? She's never even met one of these Zoltarnians or whatever.
Yeah, she thinks she's human for all
as far as she knows.
Apparently a skylight is pointing towards the Statue of Liberty that's pointing to a star that can change this random deco piece into a space pod.
Yeah, so point is...
You gotta get in the space pod. Just get in the robot, Shinji.
Get in the space pod. Yeah, get in the fucking robot, Shinji. So she gets in the fucking robot, and she doesn't even get, like, another, like, goodbye to Jay. She's just up and gone.
There's a whole movie about her coming to grips with the fact that she's an alien.
Yeah, again, like I said, there are good parts of this movie that, if expanded on, could have made a much better sequel. None of them happen.
Like, they should have let on she an alien, like, halfway into the movie.
Absolutely.
Like, he has a magic device in his pocket, as proven in the mailroom, that can tell you if they're an alien.
I didn't even think of that. You're right. Jesus Christ. Okay. So this happens. She goes up into space. The worm, or Serlina, makes one last jump to try to destroy it. And we blow it up using the 2 big guns from the first movie. You remember.
Yeah, so she's vaporized again. I don't know, she might still be alive. Yeah. I don't know.
She's dead again.
Yeah.
So Jay asks Kay. It's like, why didn't you tell me? And Kay says, if I did, would you have let her go? And Jay can't answer. Again, good moment, not expounded on.
Yes.
So Jay then asks, how the hell are we going to hide the fact that we just had a gigantic space fight over the New York-New Jersey border? Like, we need to come up with a plan, and we need to figure out how we're going to contain this. Kay hits a button, and the torch on the Statue of Liberty opens up, and it neuralizes the entire city. All right.
I'm willing to roll with this.
Works for me. So the movie is over. Like, that's the end of the film.
Yeah.
But there's this weird scene that definitely should have been during the credits, but it's not. That's the end of the movie. So basically, Jay is sitting in his locker room, and Kay is like, "Hey, buddy, you're having a rough go, aren't you?" And Jay is like, "No," because Kay is like, "Listen, I understand. You know, having to let somebody like that go, having to let somebody you love go is a lot. If you ever need to talk, I'm right here." And Jay is like, "I don't know what the hell you're talking about." And then Zed comes in, and he's like, having trouble with the letting go. And Jay's like, no. And Kay's like, yeah. And he goes, I'll tell you what happens, you know, the things I've been through, you know, going through each and every letter of the Kama Sutra. And they're just like, for God's sakes, please stop talking. And then the pug shows up again for some reason.
And he starts talking about women.
Yeah, it's weird.
And Jay looks like, is there a sexual harassment department in MIB? Like,
I would rather die than continue this conversation.
Please, everyone, shut up and deaf me, blind me. I don't know.
So Jay stands up. He goes to his locker, and the little guys who were in the Grand Central Station locker are there. Like, all hail Jay! All hail Jay! And he's like, why are they here? And Kay's like, I brought them in so you could have like a sense of perspective. He goes, we can't keep these guys in this locker. Like, they should know what the real world is like. And Kay is like, you don't understand what the real world is, do you? And Kay goes up and kicks open a door. And we go back, and we're in our own locker. And like
their own alien Grand Central Station.
Yeah, they open it up, and there's like gigantic aliens. It's a rehash of the Marble from...
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, because I guess we're in a locker that's in a marble.
That's in a marble? Like, yeah.
No, the universe is a small part of a bigger universe that is in a marble that we play for sport.
Yeah, so they're trying to do... Again, it's another rehash of the first movie. And it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, just like everyone who worked on this film was just like, let's just re-release Men in Black.
Yeah.
Like,
but worse.
But worse.
So basically, the Earth is safe. Kay is back with the MIB. Jay has found a partner worth staying with, and MIB remains a secret. Everyone's happy except for me. Curtain down. This movie
is deeply problematic.
It's the biggest thing I can say is it's disappointing. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. Not even close. But it's the movie that I felt had the most potential to create a franchise and a good, solid base for a series of films that could have like really been interesting and unique. And it's just not that.
No.
It took what MIB had and just squandered it. Squandered every little bit of it. The only thing that survives is the banter between Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. This movie is saved by Will Smith when Tommy Lee Jones isn't in it. It is just... and like I said, it's only 88 minutes, but a lot of it is padded. A lot of those conversations on the phone don't go anywhere.
Also, the storyline doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah,
like,
it's confusing and muddled.
There's a good storyline in there somewhere that's been cut to shreds.
I was gonna say, there is probably another hour of this movie
Yeah, this is the climax of the movie.
Yeah.
And there is another
hour, 45 minutes at the very least.
Of explaining what the hell did we just witness. And also, based on the laws of Selena, she's still alive.
Yeah, we still don't know. Maybe she comes back in 3. I don't know. And I would say I'm not going to find out, but I have to, because I started this silly little podcast.
You're so silly.
No, it's kind of silly. Like this, I was disappointed when I first saw it in theaters. I might be more disappointed now, because I really realized how good the first one was, and how bad this one is. Like it hurts on the inside. It's a 3.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take it from the top, right?
We have to.
Yeah, we do. Cause I'm explain it. We have deeply problematic Mexican ? Aliens.
Sure.
We have no logic in the MIB. Was supposed to be the most secure place on Earth is taken over by a fucking Tangela.
Yep.
And a woman, his entire costume is a Victoria's Secret outfit.
Mm-hmm.
The storyline makes no sense on its face.
Nope.
We're just trying to rehash the first movie, not well.
Nope.
The only person who's pulled that off so far is 22 Jump Street. Yeah. Is there a third one? Can we watch 22 Jump Street?
No, not yet.
Damn it! Can't wait for 23 Jump Street. The set design, or if you could call it that, is weird because you can see that it's green screen at some time.
A lot of it is really badly
You can see that it's like fucking green screen. Like this like I've read fan fiction that is better put together than this.
If I didn't know, I would say the budget was slashed.
Right?
But it wasn't. It was actually increased.
So what in the actual hell? Like there isn't. The plus side is Will Smith, because, you know, I'll go see anything.
As usual.
Because as it works out, their formula of, is Will Smith in it? Yeah, Vanessa will go see it. Is still true.
I was going to say, but very rarely is Will Smith has had bad movies, but he's usually entertaining in those bad movies, if you don't count After Earth.
That's true. I mean, he was even entertaining in Suicide Squad, and that was a bad movie.
Yeah, it was. So, yeah, that's where we're at. God, this bums me out. It bums me out so much more than I thought it was going to. Because, I knew it was bad. Obviously. You know, but, wow.
Wow. Indeed. It's not good.
This took 5 years. This was not a quick cash in.
Nope.
1998 we'll shat it out. This took 5 years
and
of work.
They reshot part of it because of 9/11.
Yeah.
Which means they had to sit down and think critically about this.
Yeah, I think the idea was that the big, the whole thing was supposed to take place on top of the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
And but obviously that couldn't work.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Oh, God, no kidding,
So, you know.
Yeah. What do you give it? Hang a score on it.
Oh. So, what was the old scale? 10 was best movie of all time, and 1 was...
Worst movie of all time, I guess.
We used to say 1 was something back in the Hallmark days. Yeah. The Hallmark days.
I was going to say, 10 was a movie that could have been a real movie. Uh-huh. But obviously we're watching real movies now.
Yeah.
So, it's just based on how you feel.
Fucking 1.
Really?
What? Tell me one good thing that isn't the actors in this movie. Give me a line in the script. Give me a trope. Give me a reason to watch this movie again.
There are some lines.
Give me artistic value in this movie. Even The Room had artistic value.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe it deserves a 2.
I can't give it a 1 because there was some parts I kind of laughed at.
Okay, that's fair.
I was the like I said, the acting is usually solid.
Yeah, they didn't write the acting.
Yeah, but it's the writing. The writing is god awful. The writing is for everybody. For everybody.
The writing is god awful. It's like they don't understand the original movie at all.
Yeah, it's this different writer, right? So, but it's the same director, which baffles me. But But yeah, so are you going to stick with 1?
No, I'm going to stick with a 2.
A 2?
Because why would I quit? I'm winning. Well, he's clearly losing. It's very funny. And Will Smith crawling out of a pile of tubes.
Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones are still great together. But
I like Men in Black.
And I like Men in Black. Yeah, so that's, if I'm giving it a 3, you're giving it a 2. That equals us out to a 2.5, which I think is as low as we've gone. Except for it might be, what's it called? Tokyo Drift.
What do we give Tokyo Drift?
I think that was a 2 flat.
Yeah, this is better than Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, well, you know what hurts more is that I didn't much care for Too Fast, Too Furious. Mm-hmm. I liked it, like it was a good movie, but not in the way I liked Men in Black. So the fall wasn't. Plus, like with 2 and 3, between Fast and Furious 2 and 3, it's a whole different cast, whole different plot, whole different. You knew like this can't be good.
That's true.
It was the same director, it was the same actors, it was the same universe, and oh god, it flushed it.
Okay, but like at least, cause like in Tokyo Drift, nothing made sense.
You could laugh at it.
You could laugh at it, and at least we didn't. At least with Men in Black, we're not going to mold an entire franchise of how to reconcile this movie.
Good
right?
point. Maybe, I don't know. We haven't seen 3.
That's true, but at least in the previews for International, they aren't saying Han's not dead or something. I don't know.
That's true.
We did go completely off the rails the same way we did with Hobbs and Shaw, so I don't know.
Just the worst kind of way. Anyway, that's all we got to say on Men in Black 2. I'll probably never watch that movie again.
No, not if we don't have to.
I had no reason to. But that's that. We do go from here next week. We take on Men in Black 3, which I have not seen.
Kay!
There is no Kay. He's been dead for over 40 years.
What?
Somehow history has been rewritten. There has to be a reason this is happening, and Kay seems to be at the center of it.
You're gonna send me back to 1969.
First, we gotta get high.
My man, for real?
I guess I wanted no part of it when it came out.
It crushed us.
I know it has a significantly worse song. This one has the song Nod Your Head, which you heard at the beginning of the review. Mm-hmm. This third one has Pitbull, which can't be good.
Oh no, Pitbull.
There's like time travel. It's going to be a whole thing. And we are going to watch it for you, for us, forever.
Was Pitbull in Fast and Furious? Was he one of the many
No.
artists that we grabbed? So he was so bad that he wasn't even invited to Fast Cars.
He missed that one. That was weird.
But because they didn't want Pitbull. But somehow Pitbull signed up for Men in Black.
And yet Pitbull survives. And yet he persisted.
And yet the dog is still here. I love dogs. Don't get me wrong. I love dogs. I love seeing dogs. I watch videos of dogs. That's pretty much my Instagram feed. But this was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not great.
He's weirdly sexist, and he's just like, ha ha ha, look at me.
It's because they were selling toys.
Oh, God.
But anyway, that's Men in Black 2. Let's stop talking about it forever. Until tomorrow. Till next week when we have to watch the third one, and we'll probably have to talk about the second one again. But that is all that. If you want to follow us elsewhere on the internet, I am at Empty Square on Twitter. That's EMPTYSQUARE. Cute.
I'm at Aquadia_, link in the doobly-doo.
Link in the doobly-doo for everything. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, wouldn't it be neat if I could listen to this on Spotify? Good news, you can. We are at Spotify. Just look up Binging with Badness. We are the little blue square. You'll know it when you see it. Mm-hmm. If you want to see this early, because I always post these things about a day early. Mm-hmm. You can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/emptysquare. That's EMPTYSQUARE. And you can give us any amount of money. That would be great. And we will get you what you need. We got stuff for Binging with Badness. We got stuff for Brightwall. We got stuff just everywhere.
Everywhere.
So
you get to hear our random tangents that get cut from this reel.
That's happening. And we are going to start with new fancy Patreon only reviews. You'll love it when you see it. But until then, if you want to see us then, we're over there. We're all about it. But until next week, everybody, we will see you with Men in Black 3, which, God, I hope puts us in a better mood.
Electric Boogaloo, I guess.
It's actually Time Travel Boogaloo.
Well, that's gotta be better, right? I like Doctor Who. They're not gonna ruin Doctor Who a second time, are they? Or first time?
Goodbye, everybody!
I don't like your silence.
Bye-bye!
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.